Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for today. We're going to look into a very interesting topic related to the emerging product categories in the registration of drugs and biologics. And I'm going to talk about the dietary supplements and conventional food and ingredients in respect to nanotechnology as well. Okay, so let's go over what are the regulations. But before this, I would like to just talk about the learning objectives. So by the end of this lecture, we will have the opportunity to discuss FDA's regulation of dietary supplements and novel or new food ingredients with respect to nanotechnology. But I'm not just going to go over the nanotechnology. Of course, I'm going to go over the food in general as well. Okay, so dietary supplements means a product other than tobacco intended to supplement the diet that bears or contains one or more of the following dietary ingredients: a vitamin, a mineral, an herb, or other botanical and amino acid, a dietary substance for use by man to supplement the diet by increasing the total dietary intake, or a concentrate, metabolite, constituent, extract, or combination of any ingredients described above. So, nanotechnology. This is an art and a science of manipulating matter at the nanoscale to create a new and unique materials and products. Of course, nanometer is the 10 to the power of minus 9 meters. Now, FDA has not adopted a formal definition, however, it considers the following: whether an engineered material or end product has at least one dimension in the nanoscale range. Again, as I already mentioned, we are not going to only focus on nanotechnology, but over the food in general, including the nanotechnology. Now, let's go over this very interesting flowchart. Okay, this is a quick reference for NDIs, or new drug ingredients, decision 3, to help you to determine if your dietary ingredient meets the requirements for NDI notification. NDI notification is a new drug, ingredient notification that we have to do online using a website in FDA. So what you see here is that on the very top, we are going to see if the question is, was the ingredient marketed as a dietary ingredient in the US before October 1994? Now, was it or not? If it was, then in this case, this is an ingredient that we can use. So it doesn't need, of course, it always needs to be registered, but it's not going to be as stringent as if it has not been on the market before 1994. So now I'm going to follow the, again here, the no here. So now we are going to see, is it a new dietary ingredient? Has the NDI been present in the food supply as an article used for conventional food? Yes or no? And if this is yes, then we are going to look into if there is a new process. Look into the fact that if that's a new process, you need to have the documentations related to the process. So any regulatory affairs professional is going to look into this type of algorithm, and then we are going to look into, okay, what documentation we need. And then we are going to go to the FDA website, looking into the regulations, looking into the forms that we have to prepare, the packages, and then how we are going to submit our application online. And of course, I will go over how you are going to submit your application online as well in the next, I would say, after the slides, I'm going to go over demonstrations of the website. Perfect. And then we talk about new solvents, new manufacturing method, changes in particle size, and new starting materials. So they are all different types of information that we need to prepare. Now, a regulatory affairs professional is going to connect with suppliers, looking into, again, different methodologies, different equipments. We need to gather all of the information. Now, if these are foods related to nanotechnology, obviously we will need to have a complete list of the documents that are required in order to show the efficacy and quality and safety of these new dietary ingredients. Now, let's go over the overall, I would say. So the previous slide that I showed you was really in details. However, when we look into the big picture, we will see that, okay, related to the FDA regulation for NDI and GRAS is generally recognized as safe, and NDI is new dietary ingredient. Here we see that the question, the algorithm is, does the ingredient qualify as a dietary supplement per DSHEA? And again, I'm going to tell you what's DSHEA in the next slides, but this is just, I would say the regulation. And can use prior to October 15 be established? Because we need to have a documented proof. If this is yes, in this case, we are going to classify that food as an ODI, or old dietary ingredient. It's old, it's already established. It's like very similar to traditional ingredients that we have in Canada. If not, then we are going to have the same question, more question. Does the ingredient qualify as dietary ingredients found in the food supply? If this is yes, in this case, we are going to look into generally recognized as safe or a new dietary ingredient notification that is going to be needed. This is where we are going to see in the next slides, and of course the demonstration of the website, how we are going to complete the NDIN or notification of the new dietary ingredient. Now, if this is no, the answer, in this case, this is a generally recognized as safe, then we need to have to see if there's a proof used in conventional food supply. If again there is a yes, the answer is yes. In this case, we don't need to have the new dietary ingredient notification. We don't need that. Okay, so this is for any new food that we need to go over the new dietary ingredient notification. Now, talking about I would say dietary now, I would say supplementals or the vitamins or minerals, for example. For those, we need to, ask FDA to approve or to review our application 75 days, business days, before, we are going to plan to market our product. So here what you can see is the regulation on dietary supplements in the USA. Now, of course, I just continue with the middle here, FDA requirements and guidance. We have the new dietary ingredients. So under the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act, it's a regulation, DSHEA 1994, only a dietary supplement containing NDI must submit a notification to FDA 75 days prior to marketing. And of course, we expect that by 75 days, FDA is going to allow us to market the food or not. Okay, that's why we need that. So here, we also have the current good manufacturing practice. So this is the CGMP, which is 21 CFR Part 280, where we are looking into having a quality management system in place. And in this case, we are going to look into, again, the processor, the manufacturers, the packagers, and are responsible for ensuring that the drugs, the dietary supply is safe by following FDA's current good manufacturing practice. And of course, we also have regulations for labeling. So here we talk about the statement of the identity that we have to prepare, net quantity of the contents, supplemental fact panel, ingredients list, name and place of the business of manufacturer, and provisions of domestic address for reporting adverse events for the food and dietary supplements. Okay, so that was in a nutshell the regulations. But now you may say, this is okay, we understand. Now let's go over the real thing, which is, again, thinking and working like RA professionals, and that we are having a food which is new, and we would like to know where we start, what we should read, where we should go, where we should find the forms, preparing the documents, completing the packages, and then to go to which website in order to submit our new dietary ingredient notification. For this, we are going to look into the regulations. Okay, so the first thing that we do is to go to FDA website, and we are going to search for this guidance document. This is a dietary supplement, new dietary ingredient notifications and related issues. This is a guidance for industry that we need to read and, of course, to follow. So here you're going to, of course, it's 100 pages, but what you're going to see here is, again, about the background, about the goal. I told you always the regulations, they seem to be dry, but this is not the case. Always take the time to read the definitions. It may take maybe 5 to 10 minutes, but it's going to allow us to understand much better the definitions of the words and terms that we are using, because this is in the regulatory affairs world. So now here they are going to tell us how to determine whether a new dietary ingredient notification is required. So here, whatever you can see over tens of pages is the one that I again showed you in the diagram, okay, in the flow chart that I showed you. You remember that at the very beginning of this lecture, I went over, that was I think slide number 4 or 5, where I showed you the flow chart. If the again, if the product has been on the market before 1994 or after, then if you have yes, in this case we go through which process. If this is no, we go through which process. So that was the decision 3 that was made based on this regulation. So this is why I'm not going to, of course, read everything, but whatever you see here has been already used in order to make the decision 3 that I showed you as well. So once you establish that, yes, you need to, again, go through the new dietary ingredient notification. Now you are going to go to the U.S. Food and Drugs Administration website, and you're going to search for ingredients and packaging inventories. This is where you can, of course, have access to several types of foods, okay, final rules, food additive and color additives. So GRAS notice, for example, this is where not only you can look into the ingredients, you can also look into regulations, because at the end of the day, you would like to know if ingredients that you're using in your food, they are already on the market or not, or they have been on the market, or if those ingredients, they require to be to go over a notification to register them. So you always go to this website, to this database, and you're going to search for the food ingredients and packaging inventories. Then this is, again, another website where we are looking into the, again, submitted 75-day pre-market notifications for new dietary ingredients. So here they are going to, again, allow you to find the information. And here you have you can download the list. So not only this website gives you the way to go over the submissions, and again, I'm going to go into details, but at the same time, it's like a type of regulatory intelligence, because you can have access to other already registered foods. So you can have access to other ingredients, because this is public, and you can have access to that information as well. Then you have another page or website which is related to the online submission module. When you go on FDA website and you are going to the online submission module, which is here, you are going first, of course, you will need to register, and then you will need to log in using your credentials. You need to have, of course, a corporation, and you have to represent your corporation as well. So once you are in it, you are going now look into what you need to do. You have the start guide, and here you have the videos as well, very useful for telling you how you are going to complete the application. Once you are logged in, you will see these interfaces that we are going to see together. So the first interface that you're going to see, of course, is to log in. You're going to log into this interface online. And then you are now going to see this interface where it says start NDI notification or start SFC notification. So NDI is a new dietary ingredient notification, and SFC is structure function claim notification. So here you're looking into a structure, a new structure, for example. You would like to submit that, register that, so that you can use that structure, chemical structure, in your food. It can be a color, it can be a taste, it can be an ester, for example, for the smell, etc. Now, once you have chosen which one you are going to use, you are going now to, again, we click on the NDI notification. So we click on NDI notification here. And then we are going to look into the documents that are needed. So here you're going to look into this interface. And in the interface, we will see that you will have to update the information. So here you have to update your contact information. If you have been exposed to Health Canada Form 3011, for example, okay, or different forms for INDs, you will see that we always have sections for the identifications of people who are applying for the registrations. So I would say that 20-30% of all of the forms, they are asking us to give them the information related to us, our job, a job description, or not description, sorry, job title, phone number, fax, where we are coming, maybe the any registration number for the business, etc. So here the same thing applies. So we are going to update the contact information section, primary contact, the owner of the notification, as you can see. Maybe I can make it larger as well, the owner. And then we are going to ask, again, for the general administrative information. The section asks for general administrative information pertaining to the new dietary ingredient notification. This is the high-level information that, again, gives us insights as to the nature and the content of the notification itself. So you click on Update. You're going to add the information as well. So everything is online. It's like opening a new account, a new email account. But of course, it's more complex because you need to have all of the information that you need to add here. You can also upload the information. Don't forget that you can save and you can come back to the same application, and you will be able now, I will have time to prepare the other documents as well. Then they are going to ask you to give a description of new dietary ingredient and dietary supplements. So we are going to write the type and name of the ingredients. So knowledge of chemistry is helpful as well. Then the serving form, serving size, and conditions of use of the supplement. A narrative describing the ingredients in the NDL, and then other information when available. So coming back to, again, ingredients that are made by nanotechnology, I would say, methods, this also applies here, but this is for all types of the foods. So then after updating this, you're going to open now or update the safety information attachment. So we are doing tests related, if applicable, related to the food that you are going to, or the new dietary ingredients that you are going to apply here. Then we have additional attachment, if you have anything else, like certifications or a GMP certification, for example. Then you're going to have the review notification by review officers. So this is where you can click on review, and then you can now do the signature and certification, and you can update that. And then you can, once done, you can now click on send to FDA. Very straightforward, simple, but we needed to know, of course, where to go, what are the regulations, and again, how to complete that interface for now. Now, for the contact information section, when you click on the update, you're going to see these fields: first name, last name, company, position, etc. This is exactly what I explained to you. Then here, when you're looking into the new dietary ingredient notification contact information, you're going to add contacts. You may have, you see the submitter, the owner, primary contact. You may be, again, a consultant. Then you would like to be the person who's going to receive the information and contact the FDA or be contacted by FDA. Then you select the contact types, okay? So here you can, for example, for a primary, you can see if you're a submitter, the owner, etc. And you're going to fill out these forms, okay? And then you're going to save it and continue. Then we have to look into, of course, contact types. We have already covered that, the owner or what they do. Then we are going to look into, again, completion of this contact information. I will just go faster because we did that. You can also edit those entries as well. If there's any change, you can always come back and change them as well. Then you're going to add information about the general administration. So name of the new dietary ingredients, you write the name. Have you designated information in your submission that you view as trade secret or as confidential commercial or financial information? That's because if you have a trade secret, like for Coca-Cola, okay, you may have a patent for that, but the patent expires as well. However, when you get a patent, you can also mention the fact that this is a proprietary or confidential information and this is a trade secret. In this case, we don't ask you to give us any master file or any information related to how you are going to make your product. For example, for Coca-Cola, even if the patent is expired, the formula is not in the hands of FDA. The formula is in the hands of the company. I don't know where they have it. And again, the company has the right to keep the formula as well. Now, if inspectors or FDA inspectors would like to come and check, again, the formula, for example, they can go to the premises of that company and they will have access, of course. That's why we give them a letter of access. They have access to the information, but at the site of the manufacturing facility. Okay, so it's a way to protect the intellectual property. That's why we don't have always all of the information. We can always use the trade secret case. Okay, now are you providing a redacted copy of some of the notifications? Redacted copy is a copy of any notification where you are hiding. So I'm sure you saw that already. Of course, you're hiding some sections of the document because this is a trade secret. We have names or we have procedures that we don't want anyone to have access. So we can also here, again, send or give them, again, some redacted copies as well. You can always find many redacted copies of even new drug applications online on the FDA website as well. We don't see too many information because everything is redacted. Now, are all citations to published information accompanied by reprints or full photostatic copies of the publication? Don't forget that when you are submitting those publications, you are not the owner. It's not like some people, they go online, they access an article, they can read online if this is public. However, if you would like to distribute any article, you have to pay for each copy. The same thing applies to any type of submission that you are doing. New drug applications, new drug, again, INDs or investigation new drugs, for, abbreviated new drug application, any type of submission that you're making. If you're adding any copy, or if you need to add any copy of any publication, you have to pay for each time that you are distributing one publication, each file. So if, for example, you are sending to 10 people, for example, 10 packages, you need to pay for 10 if you have one publication, you have to pay for 10 publications, because for each copy, you have to pay for one. Now, the cost is usually between $30, $40 to $100. Depends on the copyright's status and if this is public or not. If this is public, obviously, we can just add the publication. If not, don't forget that we have to pay for this as well. Then are the notifications and publications submitted in English or accompanied by a complete and accurate English translation. This always happens when you are sending any document or any article to FDA, Health Canada as well. You need to translate it. But we don't use ChatGPT to translate it, okay? We have to pay a certified translator. And the cost usually for certified translators, it depends on the number of the words. Some translators, they are asked you to pay them 25 cents, 50 cents per word translated. It's very interesting. Okay, so know about that. And when you are submitting any type of translation, you have to attach the original copy, and you have to attach the certification of the certified translator as well. I know these are details, but these are details that are very useful for everyone. And then you're going to, of course, save and continue. So here we have the description of the fields. So I just bypass those because you can read them. I go slowly so that you can stop the video and you can watch them as well. So here we have again the notification. Now they're asking you, is this a vitamin, a mineral, a herb, or other botanical, amino acids, dietary substance, or concentrate, metabolite, etc. Don't forget, and you know very well, that up to 70% of our drugs are coming from insects and plants, from natural sources. The best example is aspirin that is coming from the leaf of willow trees. And what happens is that when we are looking into the nature, like cannabis, medical, legal cannabis in Canada, we do not have exactly the same dose of the active pharmaceutical ingredients per plant, even per season, for example. This is why the majority of all of the pharmaceutical company, what they do is that they are going to extract the API or the product, and then they are going to make it synthetically so that we will be able to calculate the exact dose. So we'll be able to make products, the drugs that we are using, with the exact dose, and this is where we can do clinical trials because we are using the exact dose of the same product with the same quality, strength as well, and this is where we can establish through the clinical research studies, again, the efficacy, safety, and quality of a product. For natural products, this is not the case. So when we are using the natural products, we cannot always give the exact dose. We always give a range of a dose of an active ingredient. But don't forget that we always have a risk associated with the use of those, even plants or even ingredients. Now, we also have an issue, a risk with the mixture of those. I'm sure that among you, all of you, we have those who like to cook, and we know very well that when we are adding some ingredients, we may sometimes cause some allergic reactions. I can give you an example of when myself, I took a pizza. It was a lovely pizza I think that I ever eaten in my life, but I had a fever for 2 days. 38, and for no reason. But then I looked back I went to the pizzeria and I looked into the menu and I looked into the ingredients, and then I used, we didn't have ChatGPT at that time. I just Googled that because at that time I was using that search engine, and I found out that yes, we have some contraindications, like drugs that may have some drug, of course, interactions. We have the same thing with the foods and drugs. And we also have the same risks when we are having a specific food with another food. So we have to pay attention to this, and this is why we have these regulations. Very interesting, I believe, example as well. Still, I can tell you, I'm still looking into finding the same pizza because after 2 days, I can tell you, it didn't harm me. I had a very light fever, but that was a different experience, I would say, culinary experience. Okay, so same thing for vitamins. When we are looking into the dose and we are looking into natural products, you cannot add a dose higher than the dose that ingredient exists in nature. Because in this case, if you are going beyond what is natural, then this is not natural anymore, and then it may become a drug. We have the same regulations in Canada, in EMA, in EU as well, and the same thing applies to the USA. This is why we ask you, of course, to tell us, to give them information about the ingredients as well as the dose, so that if there is any known interactions between the food, or if there's any known relationship between the high dose of any of these ingredients or minerals or I would say herbs with any disease condition, in this case, we are going to approach you telling you that this is a high dose or there is a risk, and sometimes we may not accept or register your new dietary ingredient. Okay. So now talking about the new dietary ingredient name, okay, and then dietary supplements serving form. So here we talk about if there's a bulk ingredient supplier, if these are tablets, powder, liquids, or sachet, etc. Then you have to continue with writing about the condition of use of the dietary supplement, serving instructions, etc., dietary supplement serving size. And again, this is like a dose. But sometimes we cannot tell you, give us a dose, because we don't know about the dose, but we can ask you about the size of, okay, each serving, for example. Then you are going to save this interface, and you're going to go to the next one. Of course, here I just stop for so that we will be able to stop the video and to watch those explanations. So here the same thing, plant part on strain, Latin binomial name, etc. These are all information that the supplier is going to give you. We usually, unless you make it yourself, but usually we are buying the ingredients from different countries, different suppliers, and the same thing applies here. So we will have the information coming along with the product that or the raw materials that we are going to purchase from a supplier. Then here talking about the supplements, condition of use, serving instructions, dietary supplement serving size, target population. And don't forget that when you are selling, or even food as well, or dietary supplements, you cannot write in the label that this is going to treat any type of disease or any disease conditions. We have to be very careful when we are using promotional, say, sentences or some type of attributes that we are going to assign to our foods or dietary supplements. We can use words like may interfere or it may help, but we cannot say it will treat a disease or it will treat something. So for this as well, this is for the advertisement, we have regulations related to the advertisement of the food and drugs. And again, they are different in different countries. So for the USA, of course, you have to look into how you're going to advertise those as well. And then related to the safety information here, we are going to write again, they say, please ensure that you do not upload a password-protected document, because they want you to add or download and fill in a safety information template describing the scientific information on which you base your conclusion that the dietary supplement containing the NDI will reasonably be expected to be safe. So for this, of course, you can, download the template from here. I don't download that, but it has several, again, questions as well, and we are going to complete this as well. Now, you can always upload your documents. This is what it's telling you. You can drag and drop, or you can select from your browser, using your browser, and then they are going to ask you if you have any additional attachment, any picture, for example, any type of certifications, and then you're going to review the notification notice, and once this is done, you check for, again, the information, the contact types, etc., and at the end, you're going to sign and then to submit your application. Perfect. So I would like to repeat that this is through this interface that you can find, just you can search it as well. Again, this is where you have to, again, register. Usually, you can register, of course. It says here to register. You need to have your corporation. Now, it's about the food. In this case, you just use your credentials. And again, this is in a nutshell what I just wanted to cover for today, related to the, of course, new dietary ingredients and, again, supplements, how we are going to submit the a package, or I would say several documents, in order to apply for the registration or approval of those, I would say, entities. Okay, thank you so much again. Thank you.